Hello, everyone. My name is Fariba Parsa, and I'm founder and executive director for Women's E-Learning e-Leadership. Our organization is a nonprofit organization in the state of Virginia. We empower Iranian women in leadership skills by providing leadership courses and training, and also we have a digital library in Farsi and in English. And we have also a YouTube channel that we interview women leaders, experts, both Iranian and American or Iranian American, and to learn about their experiences, about their leadership. And today we are honored to have a meeting with Shirin Taber. She is executive director for Empower Women Media, and have been lucky to have the courses that even Empower Women Media have for women's media training. I had it last year, and it was so good, and I learned so much. It ended to I could create a 4 minutes video about well organization that we have also on YouTube channel. We can use it for fundraising, for presenting our organization. That what has been so wonderful. So I went to Shirin. First, you talk about yourself, about your organization, Empower Women Media, and after that, we are going to talk about branding, because there is something many of or especially new funded organizations that working with how we should brand, and there are so many other organizations, how we stand out. So we can, after that, we discuss about this. Thank you, Shirin. So
Thank you, Fariba. Thanks for including us. Yes, you're one of our great students for the Media Fellowship. So we're delighted to partner with you, and we want you to have success. And so we're proud of you, and we're glad to help today and in the future. So would you like me to introduce myself, or what would you like?
I think it's good to people who don't know you, just a little about who you are and about your organization. Just
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you. Yeah, I'll be brief. So my name is Shirin Taber. I have Iranian American heritage. My father was from Iran and my mother was American. My dad came here in the 1960s as an international student. He studied engineering and he married my mother, a California blonde. And somehow they built this life together. I did spend 5 years in Iran before the revolution. We had a great life then. And sadly, because of revolution, my American mother said we had to go. It wasn't safe. So we packed our bags and we came back to the US, and it was really difficult, starting over, being an Iranian American girl, trying to find my way. And then 1 year later, my mom died. And so I was an Iranian, kind of like a refugee starting over in the US. And my dad was struggling, trying to find employment. And so we really, I feel like as much as possible, I understand the pain of children who grew up in the revolution and having to start your life again. And even though I have an American mother, really it was my dad and my brothers and I trying to make life work. So because of my childhood and went on to study English literature, I was involved in university work. I really have a passion for helping empower women, especially Iranian women, but also Arab women, any women in the world that are marginalized because of culture or religion, any women who have half the citizenship or half the rights of men. And it's not just Iran, it's Pakistan, it's the Arab world, it's parts of Africa, right? So as a network, Empower Women Media, our mission is to educate the public through e-course, online courses, films, film festivals, and women's leadership events to train and equip women to stand up for themselves and to talk openly about how culture and religion oftentimes marginalizes ourselves, And we want to help men understand that it's 2024. We cannot look at women through the lens of culture or religion that was created hundreds of years ago. We are women of faith, but we're asking the public and the government to no longer look at us as being less than, because we now have education, we have economic empowerment. In fact, the research is showing that more women are in the university now, and by 2040, 50% of the population, women population, will be single. They don't need to get married. They don't need to have children because they have income. Now they will choose to get married, we hope, and we hope they will have children. But we're living at an intersection where society is changing so quickly. And we want Iran and the rest of the world to understand these changes and to actually allow women to contribute. We have so much to offer. So I'll end there, but we do that mostly through media and online platforms.
Yeah, wonderful. What's an amazing story. Yeah, yeah, maybe another day we can hear more about your life and your journey in Iran and here in the US. So we go back to branding. The first question I want to talk about, how do you define branding?
Yes. So branding, is very important. I heard a multimillionaire once say, in the past, we spent a lot of money on creating like a tool or something you're going to sell, a car, perfume, it didn't matter. But now they spend a lot of money on branding and marketing because they realize if you're not branding and marketing, you cannot reach your customer. You cannot reach your audience. And so as a filmmaker, I can tell you oftentimes when you have a budget, you have one budget to create your content, like a short film, for example, but you better have a good budget for marketing and distributing your product. So branding is actually very personal, and it's something you have to test with your audience. So I would recommend that you must clearly identify your target audience. So, for example, if you know you want to reach Iranian women between the ages of 18 and 35 years old, they're educated, they speak English, they love to travel, they're curious about life outside Iran. You take all of these elements for your branding. And once you identify your target audience, then you create your branding to reach that audience. So it's going to look different, for you and for me. If you're reaching women, single women in Korea, it's going to look different than if you're reaching, married women in Iran who live in Esfahan or Hunsar. So you have to know your target audience. I would say that's the number one thing. Also for branding, we talk about creating a profile. So you might say, well, here are 3 women in Iran that we want to reach. And then you create your branding and profile for them. After that, it's the fun part. You think about, well, what do we want to do for branding? It's color, it's texture, it's font, it's images, it's videos, it's the different pages in your website. It's how you consistently market yourself so your branding is familiar. We talk a lot about color because when people see certain color, they remember you. So I saw your website's beautiful. I would say use the same colors in your website for all of your branding, whether it's literature, curriculum, social media posts, short films, your business card, how you even dress. Your branding should be consistent because it's confusing to the audience if your branding is just kind of crazy all over the place and there's no consistency. You want them to see you and recognize you immediately. Branding, also, you have to have a consistent message. One of the things that we share with the women in our network is the idea of less is more. So get your mission statement or your vision statement down to just 1 or 2 sentences. You You don't have to save the whole world. If you can just contribute one big idea or do one thing for humanity, you've been very successful. So for you with which is a learning platform, I love your name, you want to be consistent with your branding, and you want your messaging. So like for us, Empower Women Media, I actually went through a fellowship, 10 years ago, and they taught me to just say one statement whenever I introduce myself. It has to start with the words, I am passionate. So I say, hello, I'm Shirin Taber. I'm passionate about helping women leaders to create media for their mission. That's it. Hello, I'm Shirin Taber. I'm passionate about helping women leaders create media for their mission. Media for their mission. It kind of rhymes, Now, their mission could be anything. It could be climate change. It could be women's rights. It could be sports. It could be healthcare. Their mission, it can be anything. But I'm very clear that I help women leaders create media for their mission. So I don't know if that answers your question, but if you look at our website and others, I think you'll see these common ideas and themes about branding.
Yeah, so I understand for my next question for the key elements of a strong brand message. So one is a target group. So we have to be very clear. And then the other one is a clear message. So we don't people maybe don't know what we are doing. We had also a problem with some women, so not very clear with
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. The other thing about women that we've learned, and I don't know, there's all kinds of women. There's women who are very intellectual, very academic. There's women who are very artistic. There's women who love business. There's women who love fitness. So you need to know who your audience is. You can't reach them all, and you cannot make them all happy. In fact, some of our worst critics have been women. Men love us. They're like, wow, you're so great. We love what you're doing. But women are like, what are you doing? Who are you? They're a little suspicious.
Yeah.
But we have a clear identity. We have a clear brand. So even if other people don't agree, we know who we are. So one of the ways I know we're doing a good job is we have had conferences where we bring all the women together. It could be like 50 women, 80 women, 100 women, not too many, because we really want to build trust and relationships. And many times at the end of the conference, the women, you can just tell they're so happy to be together. They're glowing. And many times the women have said, Shirin, whenever I'm with you and your community, I feel beautiful. I feel empowered. I feel like I can change the world. Like my heart is full. That's good branding. Because if people come away from your events and they feel full, like a good meal, and they feel beautiful, and they feel welcome, and they feel, like part of the team, you're doing a good job. So that's at the experience, in the events, but you can do that online. You can do that through social media by celebrating your women, by highlighting them. And then you as a leader telling them, we love you. We believe in you. You're great. We can do this. Now, I know it's very American because Americans are very positive, but we have found that it works everywhere because women want to be seen, known, and loved. And you can do that through branding, through your messaging, through your videos, through your Zoom events. And for you, Fatty, about being the leader, it's like being a mother, right? You just keep loving and serving these women, and then they get empowered, and they'll do anything. They'll follow you to the ends of the earth. So it's branding, but it's also the human touch, right? Because branding is abstract. It's just digital or on paper.
Yeah.
You need the human touch that's massaging and moving it forward.
Yeah, building trust. Yeah, it's so fascinating. So that's about the organization. What other things we think. There are many other similar organizations that work with the women's leadership. So what do you say, how we can differentiate or brand from the competitors? Because you're not the only one. How we can do it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you can only do one thing really well. You have to decide who you are and what your identity is, because there's a lot of noise and a lot of women doing great things, and we want to be happy for them, but we don't want to compete with them. So
Yeah.
I always, when I see competition, I just move away. I just go, I go do my own thing. So I think you have to study the landscape, like study what others are doing and find out what you can do that's different than others. So I give an analogy. I played basketball and soccer, and you think about the goal. When you're moving towards the goal, there are many people in front of the goal, right? But
Mhm.
if you want to make a goal, you have to find the gap. You have to find the path to the goal where no one is, so you can go direct and make a goal. So I say you have to find the gap where no one else is, you know? So if you want to do, women's e-learning to promote democracy and women's rights, which I think is brilliant, make sure your audience and target audience is very clear, and you only invite women that are interested in that. You don't try to invite everyone. It's better. I learned this from a mentor, older man. He's 80 years old now. He said, Shireen, I would rather that you work with 30 people and really do amazing things and you change the world than you work with 3,000 people. Because those 30 people can probably do more long term than the 3,000. So his point is, be very picky about who you work with and who you mentor and who you coach and who you train, because those women possibly will drive more change than, thousands of women who just, they take an e-course, they like your posts, but they're not really making change. So I don't know if that's helpful, but I think it's important to know your target audience, carefully pick the people you work with. Don't try to reach everyone. Just reach the most important people that will help you complete your mission and fulfill your mission.
Mm. So I understand the one of the effective strategies is to focus on quality instead
Yeah.
of quantity. How many followers we have tendency to look at the number. We think is higher number is better, but you say less is more. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So if you look at our social media, we only have like 3,000 followers. And then you go to another group and they're like 300,000, but what are they really doing? What are they really accomplishing? So what I can tell you, we're a small women's network. We have 3,000 followers on social media, but just this year, since January, we trained 2,500 people in Nigeria to be human rights advocates through online learning, through our online course. We held 2 women's film festivals in Pakistan. Who does that? We're the only women's film festival in Pakistan.
Wow.
We're training women to do things that other organizations are not doing it. A lot of organizations talk about what they're doing, they're not really doing it. Or like a lot of leaders will go and give a nice speech and they'll talk about peace building and women's rights, but they're not educating people, they're not training them, they're not giving them curriculum and teaching them to make short films and how to do social medias or go in the public and speak to the public. So again, you know, change when you see activation, you see people's lives changing, you see women developing confidence and taking your training and going out into the community.
Wow, that's
Does that help?
yeah, that's all these things. It's so helpful for this yeah, for organization. I think one of the, as I understand, the strategy that's be clear, at our mission, our target, and our message, and also our activities. And so the other question I have about, um, so how we have also as I'm as a leader, you also the leader as an organization. So how could we have a personal brand? We want to have a personal. We have a personal brand. We have also an organizational brand. So how we can make these two different brands aligned? So should I be like a nobody this, or I have to? What is your experiences about
Yeah.
aligning your personal? You have a story that is amazing. Your story, you come from Iran, and then you align it with your organization. How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, it's very organic, which means I didn't take a lot of classes, to learn these things. I always tell people I lead with passion. So I think it's important for you to take time to know your own story, what you're excited about, and what will get you excited to jump out of bed and do every day. If you're not excited about your work, it will not come across in your personal branding or in your corporate branding. So if you look at Empower Women Media website, it's kind of crazy. There's a lot going on there, but you'll see Shirin in there. You'll even see the colors, like even what I'm wearing today. You kind of see it in there. You see the blues and the whites and the pinks, and you see a lot of women, and so people, I think that's what they love, is they know it's organic, it's women coming together. Um, so I think it's very personal. You look at different websites, and some are very sophisticated and very formal, and the colors are very intense, and that's okay, because that will attract different people than Empower Women Media. So it's very personal, but I think it's okay to blend your personal branding with your corporate branding. So I would say start with what you are passionate about, start with the ideas, the themes, the dreams, the goals that you have, and then you can build on it as you invite other women to join you. So an example is, one of my colleagues is a woman named Astrid Hajar. She's from Lebanon. And we joke that she's from Lebanon, I'm from Iran. We both come from failed states, which means we both come from countries that are kind of falling apart. And she pushes me. Astrid is Arab. The Arabs are different than the Persians. She pushes me. She's like, Shirin, we have to go, go, go. And I'm like, okay, Astrid, I hear you. So it's good to have a partner or a collaborator that will push you to go farther and try new things for branding, for projects, for events. We can't do it all by ourselves. So Astrid is someone that helps me also with branding, with projects. So for example, we're going to host an event in Dubai in the fall. It's called the Abraham Women's Alliance to promote peace between the Arabs and Jews. And you might say, Shirin, why are you working with the Arabs and Jews? Because I believe that if there's peace in the Middle East with the Arabs and the Jews, that's good for women and it's good for Iran long term, right? If the Arabs and Jews can get along, it will force diplomacy for Iran and Turkey and the other countries to work on also. So Astrid opened the door for me. I never thought about Abraham Accords. I never thought about, as an Iranian, helping with the Arabs and Jews. But she said, Shirin, this is smart. If you can help here, it will cause a ripple effect possibly towards Iran also. So it's, again, it's very personal. You have to decide for you what you want to do, what is your vision, and then invite other women to come alongside you.
Yeah, but going back to the personal branding, do we use the same strategy to figure out what is my own personal brand? So that's my
Yes,
question.
yes,
Yeah.
very much so. Yeah, it's not too hard. It's not too hard. I mean, I can see your branding right now. I can see it.
So
I can see your personal branding right now. Yeah, so you're very attractive. You have a cute short hair, more sporty, intellectual. You have a nice white jacket, more academic, more professional. You have your books behind you. Again, very academic. If this is the look you have, you just have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. Like I shouldn't see you next week, with a sundress and a picture of Hawaii behind you, right? You have to be consistent. So I think it's important to take time for your personal branding. Maybe on a piece of paper, you write, here's 7 or 8 things I want people to know about me. These are the colors. This is the style. These are the images. These are the icons. These are the things that I want to be consistent. And that's how you develop a personal branding. So if you go to our events, you'll see I always kind of wear the same colors. I wear pink or white or blue so that people can find me. If I go to a big conference, like 5 years ago, I went to the State Department and I wore a pink suit. And a man that I know, he saw me all the way across the room. He said, Shirin, I saw you. I said, how did you see me? There's 1,000 people here. He said, I saw your pink suit. And he found me with my pink suit. So, you want to have things that differentiate you. Like a white jacket is beautiful. I always say, if you can wear a white jacket, wear a white jacket, because then people find you, they see you, they remember you, you don't get lost. And then for branding, the same, your business card, your website, your events, they should consistently look the same. I remember I invited an Iranian TV broadcaster to come to my event, and then she enjoyed it. She came back the next time and she told her friend, oh, you have to go to Shirin's event. She always does a good job. There's good food, there's good venue. So, that told me that we were doing a good job because Iranians have good taste, right? So you want to test it, try it, see if it feels good, and then keep going, keep going.
Oh. And about the color of my jacket, it's so I have wear different clothes. So, but you mean the style should be the same? Sometimes it's a
Oh,
black.
the style, yeah, yeah. Pick like 3 or 4 colors and just stick to it. Yeah, I would avoid black because black is too boring. I would pick red, white, green, blue, even yellow, like colors that work for you, orange, but be consistent. So if when you go shopping, maybe you buy 3 jackets this year and those are consistent jackets that you wear, and then you wear a scarf or a blouse, or with your makeup or your hair, just be consistent. You don't want people to get confused about your identity. um
So
yeah, and the same would be.
so the
Mhm.
physical branding. What about non-physical? About the mindset and the other things about
Yeah, your messaging. Yeah, you should messaging. So your messaging, like what comes out of your mouth, you need to have very clear talking points, so this is who we are, this is our vision, this is what we focus on. We only do 3 or 4 things, and you have your talking points. So during COVID, we did a lot on Zoom, and I had to tell people again and again and again who we are and what we do. So now I memorized it. I don't need a speech. I can literally jump up anywhere, like in front of world leaders, State Department, anyway. I can get up and I can talk for 30 minutes without notes because I know who we are. I know what we're doing. I have stories, and I'm passionate, and I'm convinced the world needs it. So that takes time, takes practice. But I would say initially, maybe you write out a speech like in 30 minutes or less, who you are. That's your branding, exactly what you're committed to. Um, and it should be very clear. So people will say, oh, that's Fariba. This is what she does. You know, there's no confusion.
do you think it's only the leader or the founder of the organization that have this brand, or do you think everyone who is in the organization have, because everyone as a board of directors, as
Yes, they
employees,
all should have it. Correct. Correct.
there are different branding, different different people, different interests, but all of us
Yeah. But when you talk about well, you should all be on the same page. If you go to an event, you should all look the same. If you go to an event, you should all have the same talking points. If you go to an event, you should tell the ladies, please wear a suit or please wear a nice blouse and pants. And these are the colors you should wear. So I'm pretty strict. If you talk to my friends like Soraya is a Muslim woman from Sri Lanka. She said, Shireen, you're so disciplined. You're so organized. And I said, yeah, I mean, I kind of am, but I think that's why we have success because we do everything consistently. Um, and and she also said, I think it's because you didn't have a mom. You were, I didn't grow up with a mom, so I think maybe more like a man, but I'm very disciplined in my branding and what I ask my team to do. So, for example, when we go to Dubai, I'm very carefully handpicking the women I'm inviting to come on our event team. The event team are the women who speak, who host a table, registration, MC, any woman who's helping to, host the event. And I carefully, almost like a director of a movie picking your actors, I carefully pick each of those women. And we talk about our talking points, our branding, what are we going to wear, what are we going to say. If there's any conflict, we deal with it privately outside the meeting. It's everything is curated. Curated means like it's almost like a movie or a wedding or something where you carefully plan everything. And that's why we have success. We really do. And we have people come to our events and say, wow, I've never been to an event like that. It felt different because it wasn't just a bunch of speeches. Like from the time people walk into the room, there's someone greeting them and at registration and during the event and during the coffee break and the speakers, and it's just a beautifully curated event. And they walk away and they say, that was great. When is the next one? We want to come. And after we've been doing this since 2015, so 9 years, we're at a place now, Fatiba, where we can put an event on a calendar and say we're going to Dubai after 9 years, and I know I can fill the room with 100 women leaders. I don't even think about it. Whereas 9 years ago, I used to be stressed. I would lose sleep, like, oh, I hope I can have 100 women. I don't even think about it. And not only that, we attract sponsors now. The sponsors will call me and say, how can we help? And I'll say, well, we need someone to help pay for the venue. We need someone to pay for the lunch. We need someone to help pay for the marketing. And the sponsors come and they'll say, okay, I will pay for the lunch, $4,000 for 100 women. I will pay for the venue, $7,000 at the Radisson Hotel. I will pay for the excursion. We're going to take the women on a bus to go see the Abrahamic Family Center. Someone will pay for that. So my goal is to give responsibility to others, and I'm just organizing it. But that takes time. It takes a couple years to get there.
As I understand, so there's so much trust to your organization
Yes,
that
yes.
they believe in what you are doing and they like you and your organization and they willing to pay for your activities. So do you think that's like through branding, one of our goals
Mhm.
building trust in
Yes. I can tell you're a PhD. You ask good questions. No, it's true. It's built on trust. It's built on building relationships and trust and proof of concept. Proof of concept means you've done it again and again and again, that it's so natural for you. People, they can see it and they want to help you. They believe in you. Sometimes when you're first getting started, it's a little bit, we say clunky or messy. But if you do something, like if you host an event and you host it again and again and again, usually the third, fourth, or fifth time you get better and better and better. So we say start small with 30 women, 50 women, work your way to 100, maybe 300 women. But you have to test it and get stronger. It's like building your muscles,
Yeah.
And when people they think you're a leader, they will follow you and they'll say, we want to be a sponsor. But this takes, practice. It's like being an athlete. You have to keep doing it again and again, or like playing the violin. I played the violin. At first, it doesn't sound very good, but after 3 or 4 years, you sound good. And so you have to just keep doing it again and again. You have to be really patient.
Yeah, yeah, that's that's a good. This is a message that I think everyone, and not only the or followers of women's e-learning leadership, well, they can take. I think all women other organization can take this your wisdom. That is so much. That's
Thank you.
this
Yeah,
is
we love it. But it's been very organic. It's things that I have learned through experience. Like I've read some books, I've watched some videos. I had to live it to understand it. It's like being a mother, right? You have to raise your kids and then you understand, oh, that works. That doesn't work. So, yeah. And I think you have a great concept. I think you just have to tell yourself it could take 2 or 3 years. Keep going, keep building trust, start small, grow over time, attract sponsors, have a clear mission, have a good curriculum. And when people understand who you are, they'll be more motivated to help.
yeah. Thank you so much, and yeah, I hope we can have another meeting to learn more about you and your um, activities. I hope we can participate to the event if it's possible for some of us can participate. And
Yeah.
can we contact learn more about your organization? Can you tell?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we have an event. If you know anyone in Los Angeles, we have an event July 18th in Santa Ana. It's a Thursday, July 18th. We'll do a 3-hour event, and you or your friends in LA can come and see how we do it. And then in Dubai, which is a little bit farther, that's in November. We usually do events on Zoom or a live event once a quarter. So we'll do one in July, in September, November.
What about this media fellowship? How if someone is interested to take this training, how can they be part of this fellowship?
Yeah. So the Media Fellowship is unique in that we go to different countries or regions of the world. So right now we're in Nigeria. And we're hoping in the fall or winter, we want to do a media fellowship for Arabs and Jews because we're focused on the Abraham Accords and the war with Israeli and Hamas. So we're going to hopefully do a media fellowship for them. Next year, 2025, we don't know yet. So every year we have like a new program. So I don't have any information for you now. I would just say if people are interested, they can go to our website. We have many of the tools, as you know. We have all the films, we have all the curriculum. It's all free, it's all there. And if someone wanted help sooner than later, they could contact me and I could explain to them how to use those free resources. But there's no media fellowship for Iranian women in the near future, maybe next year.
Yeah, wonderful. But what about the online? There is also online training.
Yeah. So there's always a free online training. It's called Live What You Believe. It's in English, Arabic, and Farsi. And so if you go to our website, you'll see Live What You Believe Farsi, and you click on that. And there's 4 short films and reflection questions. And then you submit your evaluation and you get a certificate, a human rights certificate. That's on our website, Live What You Believe Farsi. So that's always there and that's free.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. And
Yeah,
yeah, hope to see you in person.
I know. Well, we'll be back in DC probably in February. So that's 6 months away. But in February, we'll be back for an event probably.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Fariba.
Yeah.